Hello everyone. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here today, and it's my pleasure to perform this presentation regarding the teacher's professional development guidelines for implementing effective teaching plans. It's going to be presented by Maisoun Alzankawi from Kuwait. What does highly qualified teacher status really mean? Teachers' professional development is a lifelong and continuous process in which teachers are expected to upgrade their knowledge, master new skills, and change their practices, since advancement in this teaching career has an impact on their students' achievements and education reform. Teachers' professional development refers to how the teachers learn and how they apply the lessons that they have learned in practice to support the learning process of the pupils. Both individual and organizational factors have an effect on the teacher's professional learning and development. Various studies advocate continuous learning and development for the teacher as the practice ensures better teaching qualities which affect the quality of the learning for students. First of all, developing teacher development programs. Wong and Young argue that feedback is the most crucial aspect of designing and developing educational programs for instructors. Perceptions of the participants occurs about the effectiveness of the delivery lead to the redesign of the program as it is appropriateness. They claim that the survey questionnaire is the best tool to obtain feedback from program participants, and Likert scales are used to get their perceived effectiveness of the program. Furthermore, self-founded programs use these evaluation tools to determine the level of participant satisfaction and their tendencies to recommend the program to others. Risby developed a classroom observation schedule designed to assess the efficiency of the teacher training approach called the cluster-based monitoring, which is the CBM model, which integrated the contextual realities and different needs and priorities of the teacher, the school, and the educational system. So the study details the development of the classroom observation schedule, which can be used to develop the guidelines specified in this research. CBM model's breadth covered every significant observable activity related to classroom teaching practices and student behavior, such as teaching approaches, teaching skills, teaching aids, student evaluation procedures, students' behavior appearances, and visual aspect of teacher-student relationship. Findings in this study led to the executing of small changes in the structure and the training program. However, the techniques used in this study provided insight into the design and the program's execution, since a set of criteria would have been identified to ensure improved outcomes. Bill et al. Examined a development program for teaching mathematics. The knowledge of teachers who took the program was compared with colleagues who had not taken the program. So a survey questionnaire was also used to determine the teacher's assessment of the program and its outcomes. The results indicated better knowledge than the comparison group. The outcome was mostly attributed to the facilitator's experience, and the teachers were observed to be actively engaged and supportive of each other, compounding the learning atmosphere. In another study by Darling-Hammond et al., the effective professional development programs comprise 7 characteristics, included focusing on content, incorporating active learning and utilizing adult learning theory, supporting collaboration, which are typically in job-embedded contexts, using models and modeling of effective practices, providing coaching and expert support, offering opportunities for feedback and reflection, and is of sustained duration. The researchers further suggest that having a number of these characteristics simultaneously is sufficient to evaluate a professional development program successful or effective. The study also recommends using professional learning communities to produce high quality of teaching and student learning. Garcia and Ruiz stated that professional training and continuous implementation of teacher development programs help teachers adapt to changes in what is required to teach and examine. It also helps the Perspires early career transitioning of novice teachers from training colleagues to the classroom. Effective programs help educators improve their practice too. According to De Monte, most of the training programs that occur do not align with new teaching strategies and other professional learning activities. The study also unearthed a fundamental disconnect between high-quality professional development and integration into a classroom situation because they are too generic and unrelated to the everyday practice of teaching and teachers' attitudes. Also, there are soft skills in teachers' professional development. So soft skills can be defined as personal, non-academic traits that enhance teachers' interactions, performance, and viewpoints. Elements of soft skills may include teamwork, problem solving, professional morals, critical thinking, entrepreneurship, friendliness, and personal habits. Teachers' soft skills are essential because they help manage the demands of a classroom effectively. Consequently, soft skills can boost competency and upsurge teachers' ability to subsidize collective transformation and progression. Chang et al. Observed that when teachers acquire soft skills and apply them in the workplace, the teaching and learning process became more inclusive. Martin and Christopher further raised awareness on the significance of soft skills by encouraging teachers to adopt them at the beginning of their teaching career because they are beneficial when solving problems in various scenarios. Also, there are the importance of using guidelines in teacher development programs. So a professional development program is a plan also referred to in the educational sector as continuing professional development for teachers. It contains specific goals and the means of achieving them, which also provides an outline of what should be done and directs the actions that should be accomplished. Plans may come in various forms, and guidelines can be one since guidelines provide a future direction for action. Vega asserted that sustained professional learning and refinement of teaching practice contribute most significantly to promoting students' learning. The development of systems here implies the need for tools and frameworks such as guidelines for teacher training. Arnold emphasized the necessity of developing guidelines, especially for those who are new in the teaching field. He stated that the guidelines give support to the teacher's competencies, contribute to the instructional design and the development of the knowledge base. Accordingly, the guidelines can be represented through a handbook for instructors, and the designers of the guidelines must analyze environment for causes of performance gaps. As guidelines respect benefits for undertaking programs for development, writing the plans is an essential part for the process. Gutzer recommends a 9-step plan for professional development, which are: number 1, an assessment of the current level of competency in a particular skill. Number 2, the identification of specific goals. Number 3, a gathering of information relevant to the desired goal. Number 4, the identification of professional skills already possessed and the gaps from the ideal skill set or teachers. Number 5, the methods in which the goals can be accomplished. Number 6, the determination of the timeline and the accomplishment of the goals and specific targets. Number 7, the commitment of the previous steps in writing. Number 8, and evaluation of the plan. Number 9, the measurements of progress. Now I'm going to talk about the problem of the study or the current study. So although teaching is a profession that legally requires particular expertise, there are guidelines for implementing an effective teaching plan that has not been met. Key to these guidelines is professional development, which has begun to gain importance as this study conjectures. In line with the changing students' needs and teaching approaches, acquiring new knowledge and skills such as soft skills make professional development significant. Therefore, a more progressive approach to designing and implementing a useful teacher development program is required. Professional development of the teachers need more attention to execute and harvest the optimized research based on the researchers' experience, the literature review, and the survey prepared. The study aimed to determine teachers' development programs' effectiveness and evaluate the effectiveness of those programs for further improvement. The purpose of the study. So the study's primary purpose was to determine the most suitable approaches to implement effective teaching plans from the assessing teachers' development programs. The study evaluated the development program's effectiveness that English teachers at the Public Authority for Applied Education and Training in Kuwait are required to attend. So the study also helps educators and the curricula specialists design useful programs that include implementing effective teaching plans. The limitation of the study, as the current study was limited to a sample size of 31 participants that comprised English language teachers from PAED. The sample size was relatively inadequate for statistical measurement because of the conflicts arising from Kuwait's cultural context, where research studies involving human participants are less common, as few teachers were willing to take part in this research. The significance of the study. So this study's significance emancipated from implementing effective professional development programs for teachers. So the findings and recommendations from this research will be of immense benefit to, first, the English teachers at PAED in Kuwait and the curricula specialists, as it provides important requirements that teachers need in their professional development programs during their careers, allowing them to consider developing the curriculum. Second, researchers to explore further other obstacles or barriers which teachers in general and EFL teachers in particular may encounter, as well as their needs and requirements through the suggestions and recommendations that will be presented in the future professional development programs. Third, teacher educators for designing and implementing professional development programs for teachers in training. So it also helps educators improve teacher training and professional improvement plans for education by incorporating specific instructional elements that address teachers' and learners' needs. The methodology used in this study. So this study employed a quantitative method with a survey design to collect the data in numbers, which is numeric. The descriptive design appears most appropriate for the objectives of this study. The tools of the study. So a survey questionnaire was formulated to obtain data about teachers' professional development experience based on the practical knowledge and experience in the teaching and training field. So the questionnaire contained a mixture of both closed and open-ended questions. So the questionnaire was subdivided into two major parts. The first part covered demographic variables relevant to gain insight into the respondents' rationale for selecting the responses in the second part. Using the questionnaire was to gain some insight by identifying teachers' development programs experiences and indicating their perceptions about these experiences. Likert scales were used to evaluate the effectiveness and contribution of the teachers' development program. A sample of the study: non-probability sampling was used in the research because of the widespread of the COVID-19 pandemic. So the method involved non-random selection based on a convenience sampling, which allowed the researcher to easily collect data in the case where the participants were selected using the non-random criteria, meaning that not all the individuals had the chance of being selected. So the aim is not to test a hypothesis about the abroad population, but to develop an initial understanding of a small population. The research design: questionnaires were distributed online, so data gathered was scheduled for a month to allow time and potential delay in receiving participants' responses. So the data of the close-ended questions responses were tabulated and interpreted using the SPSS statistical softwares, and descriptive statistics were applied in interpreting data. These statistics were used to summarize the participants' frequency of responses, which helped measure teachers' perceptions of the effectiveness and contribution of different teachers' development programs to their competencies. Likert scales were used to evaluate the effectiveness and contribution of the teachers' development programs and to permit comparison of the various programs indicated. Data analysis. Concerning the respondents' teaching ranking, 58.1% of the participants reported that they are instructors, whereas 32.3% are assistant professors and 6.5% are professors, while 3.2% are associate professors. According to the data collected in Section B, which is measuring teacher development programs, so most teachers have taken at least 3 development programs, as the results indicated that 83.9% of the participants had undergone a teacher's development program. In contrast, 16.1% almost have never done so. Also, 57.7% reported that they had taken 1 to 3 development programs, while 15.4% have taken 4 to 6, whereas 15.4% have taken 7 to 9, and 11.5% have taken more than 10 programs illustrated in the table below. So this indicates that most teachers were not interested in the professional development programs available at Payet. Concerning the type of teachers development programs undertaken, 61.5% of the participants have taken the instructional approaches development programs, whereas 57.7% have taken the communication and presentation skills program, and 53.8% have taken personal development programs. Accordingly, 42% or 42.3% have taken the subject matter expertise development program, while 38.5% have taken the student evaluation program, and 30.8% have taken organizational membership skills, which is teamwork, collaborations, etc. Also, 26.9% of the participants have taken the syllabus development and writing development programs. So the graph below presents a summary of the findings, which indicates that soft skills development programs are completely neglected, and there is no emphasis on concentrating on those essential skills that positively impact teachers' performance in classrooms. Although the distribution of responses to Section 2 or Section B varied across each questionnaire item, the fairly effective response was the most frequent feedback. It suggested that most participants were aware of the importance of teachers' professional development, supported by the high number of programs attended. Their participation in those programs is just to fulfill work demands and profession as a teacher. So the figure below illustrates the distribution of responses of the 31 participants to the question related to the investigating teachers' development programs effectiveness. Conclusion: proper guidelines are key to making the teacher's professional development to be successful. So this paper aimed to address crucial missing links to teachers' professional development programs. As presented in the literature review, educators' knowledge, skills, and commitment are significant in the teacher's professional practice. However, many professional development programs are not organized or coordinated effectively, and therefore teachers may face challenges in the workplace. Accordingly, the professional development program's features should incorporate effective development plans encompassing policies, procedures, and resources for continuous professional development. So in this study, assessing the program effectiveness and identifying teachers' experience have been conducted. The findings will contribute to the design and formulation of the programs when developing guidelines for implementing an effective teaching plans for third-level education. The findings of the research shows that the development programs that have been put in place are important in the improvement of the learning process of the students in the schools. Recommendations. First of all, effective professional development programs are known to impact teaching learning process positively. Therefore, supporting these programs is fundamental for ensuring high-quality teaching practices. Number 2. The study recommended implementing programs that focus on developing expertise, confidence, skill levels, and positive attitudes among teachers. Third, there should be proper guidelines and policies for designing and implementing both pre-service and in-service teacher education programs. While reviewing the current professional development programs, there is a need to leverage global practices, changes, and new trends in the education sector. Training of teachers should also encourage soft skills for enhanced actions and effectiveness in the classrooms. Overall, implementing the identified guidelines will transform teachers, especially those in third-level education, into better and more apt educators. So thank you everyone for listening to me, and here are the emails provided in case if you have any questions. Thank you very much.